marvellous critic, it's such a sport, and it has red, black, mud. Alarmingly careful. Alarmingly careful.
Claire used to be my boss, so this is lovely.
It sticks me up like
The squirming arena under the microscope. Are you ready, Claire?
No.
I've got pages of notes, everyone, but we promise you we'll get through them. I'm just going to try get Claire to talk a little bit about this murdering him in the kitchen. About her background as a reader and then as a writer. But first of all, as Anne alluded to, this concept of mud, and as we know, those of us who love reading, and some of us who made a living out of it by teaching it to others, trying. Titles can often indicate what the book is about. So when we think of mud, metaphorically, mud is something unclear. You can sling mud. One's name can be mud. You can be a stick in the mud. You can muddy the waters. You can have mud in your eye. And mud can be
Did you
used.
say the other day it's a drug?
Well, yes, my research also tells me that according to Urban Dictionary, mud is a slang term for MDMA.
I didn't mean that.
Yeah, so mud is the powder form of the drug ecstasy. So I don't think you intended that.
No, I
No,
didn't.
but it's nice to know. So mud can be used for construction, mud baths. It can be used as a facial. It can detoxify. It can be
I don't do
imaginative play for children. It can be an art medium. Claire,
Christine.
what's your definition of mud, and why did you call your book mud?
Well, mainly because Dave Rossiter told me that the Artful Quidnunc was far too esoteric, or people wouldn't like it. So I had to have a simple one. So thanks, Dave.
My pleasure. Most people more than one syllable. It's like, what?
But also, as you know, because you've been there like Anne, I grew up in a very muddy place, and that is actually the reason why I don't like winter there. It's not the dark, it's not the wet, it's or the cold, it's the mud. There's mud everywhere, and so then you say, well, I ought to say a little bit more about this, and that mud is in this marsh, and there's so much going on in that marsh that we just don't understand. And what Anne alluded to was mostly my concept here is that I do think that the vast majority of our communication is deceptive, whether we mean it or not. It's subconscious or conscious, either to give or receive that communication. And so I thought, well, that's a good metaphor, isn't it? Muddying the waters.
Very good. Well, we might get into that in more depth.
Was that good?
It's very good. No, it's very good.
Okay.
But let's go back down memory lane a little first of all, and just interrogate you about your history as a reader. So, when did your love of the written word begin? Were you a reader as a child? And if so, what were the highlights?
No, I didn't read as a child, and my mother was very, very, very worried that I would never read until she gave me Enid Blyton.
Yeah.
And then I started to read. I never got To Kill a Mockingbird. I don't think I got past page 50, and the nuns used to send me to confession all the time. But
Oh, that's terrible. That's a wonderful book.
I know, but it wasn't taught well. That's the thing. And then I thought I was a much better science maths student, but I actually had a sister-in-law who read English at Oxford, and she just said, I really loved her. Unfortunately, she's no longer in our lives, but and that meant that I thought, right, well, I might as well go and do English.
Any other info? Oh, I think you've missed the big one.
Oh, what's the big one?
Great, go.
Yeah, but you haven't asked me.
Oh, so how do you go through the book with the highlights
The highlights.
of your reading history?
Oh, what am
So
I?
let's go past Enid
Okay.
Blyton now.
Past Enid Blyton.
Okay. And To Kill a Mockingbird. After that.
Hamlet's not bad. So my three favourite novels are The Great Gatsby by Fitzgerald, and which obviously, if you know anything about it, he does Dust. I've done like The Leopard by Laputusa, and Camus' Plague, and those are sort of like three books that I think are fantastic.
What was the moment, or can you pinpoint the moment when you realised that you wanted to have a crack at writing yourself?
When I was 16. And I wrote a book when I was 16 because a friend of mine who actually became a doctor, this was at a Catholic boarding school, we'd sneak up to the typing room where if you weren't doing A-levels you had to go and sew or cook or type. But we were both doing A-levels and she was able to type and I wasn't, and I just dictated this novel to her.
Oh, wow. And where is it now?
Above my clothes in my bedroom.
In a box somewhere?
Yeah.
Okay. Any plans for that other
No.
than to just keep...
Wouldn't it be embarrassing? I mean, I think Blackwood is now embarrassing compared to this. I mean, that would be horrendous. And then I did a few more before I had babies.
So what inspired you to write this book?
Well, once Blackwood was done, and what am I going to write about? And you always start with what you know. And I just thought, I mean, it's so funny because I'm the typical writer. I have a notebook and I just write down. If someone said something to me tonight, I'll have written it down by tomorrow morning. That's funny. And particularly, I think actually it was on the WhatsApp group of the village in Norfolk that I come from, and it comes up in this novel, people complain about dog poo. Everywhere, isn't it? So the village WhatsApp was going, I'm in hell for leather one evening, and then there's now dog poo on the recreation grounds, and what was anyone going to do about it? And it really mattered because this woman had been made blind when she stepped into some dog poo, and it went into her left eye, and she's now blind in that eye. And I thought, well,
Feasible.
totally, yeah, absolutely. So I thought, well, we can start with that. She's in your eye.
You're right, that's right. So let's go a little bit further into your actual process, Claire. Do you focus more on character development, plot, or atmosphere? What comes to you first?
Well, as you know, plot is my weakness. There's no doubt about that. Plot is not. So what I do really focus on is really ideas. And then if the characters come around that, it's ideas, what I'm trying to do. And this is the idea of how we communicate, which is what literature's often about, and how language works, how we use language. And then obviously, I did actually try to make this serious, but I cannot write seriously. I just always see something funny that has to come out.
Yes, that is very true. And I wonder if you could tell us a bit about your routine. Do you work daily or do you have bursts of brilliance? And what are the biggest challenges to your creative process?
Anne. she says, have you written anything this month? Nah. Why not? What are you doing? Sailing? Golf? Oh, I better start writing.
So you don't write every day?
No.
No, just when the mood takes you?
Yeah. Often I've had an idea.
And is it an enjoyable process rather than agony?
No, it's. I always say I write like a lot of people cook or garden.
Mm-hmm.
I really don't cook. You'll see on that menu.
We know that.
You've just tasted my cooking shit. Okay, but I did try. And you can see my garden. It's just fireproof. And I do like writing.
Oh, I think we've got a question at the back already.
Oh, question. Do you write or type?
Type. I'm a touch typist. Yeah.
Thank you. I think I know the answer to this, but I'll give you your opportunity. So how do you handle writer's block or a creative slump?
Don't have it.
I know. So humble. So
I don't have it because I don't, unless I've got an idea, I don't
you
sit
don't
down.
bother.
I
Yeah.
don't bother.
Yeah, fair enough. Yeah. So that
Don't,
comes
why
from-
why waste the time?
That's right.
There's other things to
Why
do.
put
Make
yourself
up.
through hell? That's right. Right. I'm going to now move into, and we've got a slight disagreement here. Well, not necessarily disagreement, but your answer is possibly deeper than mine. I tried to think about the book and, you know, categorize its genre. What is the genre of this book? And to me, I kind of started to make a little list of elements that I thought might slot this book into, you know, the kind of caper. You know, it's a good old caper kind of story, a bit like The Sting or Ocean's 11 or one of those films. So there's an elaborate con, there's a light tone, there's revenge, social commentary about a number of things which Anne also touched on, nouveau riche, education, village life. Do you agree with that interpretation? If not, why not?
I agree with you. You're going a bit shallow.
That's what I meant. Okay, thank you so much.
Or maybe I'm being arrogant. I wanted to do it more in a more literary way. I mean, there's a difference between a bestseller and something that's literature, and that's because I wanted to deal with language. And you know, Anne is very kindly says, there is music in this. There is all those allusions, so many allusions, as you know, Proverbs.
Let me get to it.
So yes, it's got all that, and I don't know whether it is possible as a genre. Actually, Nova, you're going to tell me it is at some point. I'll come to you. Whether you can combine literature and humour, and I don't know. Is there hope? What do you reckon, Anne?
Oh, is there hope in the novel?
No, can you combine it?
Oh, yes, absolutely. I would hope so.
You do hope.
Yeah.
I would hope so.
I'm going to ask you to not fully explain because I don't want to give too much of this book away and spoil the experience for your lovely guests, but there are a number of what I guess we call Easter eggs throughout the novel, recurring motifs and symbols, a couple of which I'd like to just ask you to comment on. The turns, bird life, the turn.
Well, the turn is obviously a play on the word. You can either, I don't know. Anne will tell you I'm a hopeless speller and my grammar is really bad. I
So
was
which
head
turn
of
are we
English. I
really
know,
referring
but
to this time?
T-E-R-N.
The E-R-N
so
or
there's
the U-R-N?
T-E-R-N is a bird, and turn T-U-R-N like this. But I use it to say as code sometimes. And the terns are a migratory bird. There's only a few colonies. They're actually the little terns where I come from, and they migrate each year and they come back. And there's something really special when you see the terns coming back, or when you see them go. You see they've gone for the year, you know, till next summer, and then the geese arrive for their summer in our winter. So yeah, I was playing on that tern, and the tern colonies are very important to us where I live.
There is a death early in the book.
Is
And-
there?
Yes, there is. And you record the time of that person's death as precisely at 9:17.
Yes.
I wonder if you could explain your thinking behind that particular timing.
Well, of course, as a
Of
good
course.
Catholic,
Yes,
you
go
know,
ahead.
you might, you know, no, it's Proverbs 9:17.
Which says. Would you like me to read it? Proverbs 9:17. Stolen water is sweet. Food eaten in secret is delicious.
Very muddy
And deliberate.
and totally deliberate.
All communication can be a little messy.
Of course it can.
Yeah.
I might just leave that for the moment, but I would love you to talk a little bit about your choice of characters' names, because I found them quite hilarious. For instance, we've got a character named Lubricant, Molecule, Billboard, Holiday, but four very significant ones you might like to elaborate on. The first of which is, Mrs. Quidnunc.
So quidnunc in Latin means gossip. So of course this woman she stirs and she deliberately puts out lights little fires for it to all go round. So she gets the gossip going. So she's not your normal gossip, but anyway, she's called Mrs. Quidnunc. Not that I've ever met Mrs. Quidnunc, but I thought, I don't know where I found the name, but I thought, oh gosh, I've got to have a character called Mrs. Quidnunc. That is a great name to be called.
I agree. And two other memorable names are Gibeus Moon and Fin Fog.
So the gibbous moon, of course, it's a gibbous moon, you know, the waxing and waning moon, and I see, and there will be allusions to the moon rising or setting, and the light that masks what we understand all the way through. And so gibbous, I just put the little e in, so rather than calling gibbous, I just added an e. It sounds like it almost should be.
And Fin Fog?
Well, it's alliterative.
It's lovely.
And Fin is a bit fisherman.
And Fog?
And fog, of course, clouds, meaning.
Very good, very good.
Oh, thank you. 10 out of 10. 10 out of 10. Telling my parents I'm a good student.
Absolutely. Does anyone have a question from the floor while we've been talking? Has anyone thought of something they'd like to ask Claire? Well, if not, I'm going to... Oh, sorry, Justin.
So, 2 books in, you're now officially a writer.
Am I?
Yep, in my opinion.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah. Have you mingled with other writers and have they thought
No,
what
I
the
find
next
most-
novel will be?
You know, I find most other writers completely. I mean, you can understand this is all a bit of a piss take. A lot of other writers would actually take this quite seriously. Yes. And they're all very, you know, sanctimonious about it all, whereas no, I generally can't stand other writers. The thought of going to a writers' conference, hideous.
Down here?
What did you learn after your first book that you carried into being a writer on your second?
Really good question, because then I've learned much more with this one. I've learned about what
It's not a writer's conference.
What have I learnt, Anne? The tense. Oh my God, those tenses.
Oh, you're slowly getting there with tense.
No, I've got no idea about tense still. And commas, hopeless with commas. No, I'm more about rhythm and hearing it, working on it harder. I mean, Blackwood was written in about 4 months, I think. This was 2 years. And I enjoyed it much more, and I mean, how many, I did 14 edits, and did about 8. And learning to do that. I think plot is not my strength in any way, and I do find difficulty with plot. I don't know.
Yeah, I think it's looking at the potential in a passage, and going, yeah, I know what I want to say, but if I said it in the best possible way,
Yeah.
and just working at it continuously,
You'd-
gets to that.
Like the piece that Anne read you about the Tangle Tower, I don't know how often we've read that. Maybe 10, 15 times.
And
And it's
as
still
we,
not as
we worked
precise
on
as I
it,
wanted to be.
it got more meaning
Yeah.
as we worked on it.
Because the first time
Absolutely.
you read it, you said, I have no idea what you mean. I said, it's good, the idea's good.
Yeah, but it's teasing out that
Yeah.
idea to communicate it. Yeah, and it's hard to do. No wonder we all befuddle each other in our communication.
In our communication. Yeah.
Are there any other questions?
Yes. Yeah.
Katie. Oh, hold on. You choose. Lucy.
Lucy.
Oh, wait.
Lucy or Lucy?
So, is there another book in the back
Yes.
of your mind?
Yes.
Oh,
It's going to be.
If it is further than in the back of your mind, if it's starting.
No, it's not started, but I know it's going to be called Sand.
It is.
Sand. And it's going to, and it might start with someone seeing a hand protruding out of a bunker. So it'll be about golf clubs. It might.
So it might be humorous. To be terrified.
all the golfers now leave.
We've got this
The night is gone, golfers gone.
Claire,
Hello.
in Blackwood, I
What?
felt like your personality came
Yeah.
right through. Do you feel like that when you're writing a book and then you read it afterwards? Do you feel like your personality comes through in Blackwood and then also in Mud?
Actually, going back to Danny's point, that's another thing. I think the more you write, I have heard this, the more you are able to distance yourself from your narrator. And I'm not there yet, probably. I would like to be further along, yeah.
This would make Blackwood good though, because
Yeah, I know it's my humour,
personality.
but then I think, Andy, wherever Lynn is, and
Andy thinks the story is totally about Claire, and he doesn't really know. He knows Claire,
Yeah.
Yeah.
and he said to Claire the other day, "This story is you. This is Mud is you, Claire."
yeah, is this autobiographical? I said,
Yeah.
Andy,
And-
what is the narrator a girl or a boy? And he looks at me and goes, what?
I know. But he does really feel that this is your story. This is a little bit about you.
I
and
mean, you
your
start
life.
up from what you know.
Yeah.
Of course, the landscape is exactly.
Yeah. And most writers can write about themselves and
Yeah.
their experiences. Yeah, their experiences, and it becomes a story, and
Yeah,
it's great. It's great to be told.
but I'm learning how to distance myself more and more.
Yeah.
I feel like with Sand, I may have to be the sort of rapist murderer, and then people say, that's not you.
But isn't necessarily a bad thing though? Yeah. It's you coming through. Like,
No.
it's only because we know you.
What?
It's only because we know you that we recognise.
Sorry, I beg your pardon. What did you say?
It's because we know you.
You
that
hear the
we see
humour.
your personality in you. But someone who doesn't know you will enjoy the read.
I hope
And
so.
the story.
I hope so.
We want the funny stories about
We
golf.
want Claire.
Hilarious stories about golf.
Hilarious.
Bad stories about golf.
Yes.
We had another question.
Liz?
Liz.
Yeah, just as an latent reader, I've only started reading in the last 10 years, which is pretty bad, but I really love it now. But when you finish a really good book, it stays with you, and sometimes it's hard to find another book that you like
Very
as much. I just wonder how you feel when you've finished your book, writing your book. Like, how does that make you feel?
I think Anne and I, when we closed the computer, a month ago, excuse everyone. Fucking hell. We're not doing it again. Mind you,
We're there,
there's a mistake. Coops.
Don't tell me.
No, Coops. Where's Coops?
Oh, bloody
Ringing.
Coops.
In the
There
first,
she is, she's up there.
ringing without a W.
What?
Yeah, what?
What? Oh, sorry. What?
Ringing without a W. Ringing your hands without a
It's
W.
a double meaning.
How do
Oh,
we...
yes, that was meant to be there.
Oh, yes, it is. Anyway,
Do we have any other questions? Yes, here. Yes.
Kathy, who is it? Who else?
You choose.
I wanted to know, are you going to actually put it on Audible and use your voice to read?
No. Would you like to read it?
Actually, I would like Anne to.
Oh, yeah. Thank you.
Yeah, I actually
Who
thought,
said that? Who said that?
yeah, I really like the way you
Read.
Yeah.
Well, she knows it.
I would love to do that. That's one of the things I really
Well, off you go, Anne. When I'm in England
Oh,
Thursday, that's your little project.
And then one
And
sentence of
well,
every
good
day.
idea, but I wouldn't read it. No. borders batshit by it.
Another question? Yeah.
Oh, where was I? Why
this
do you
is the
want to
heckler.
distance yourself from your book, from your stories? You know,
Because I think that is the.
Is it a skill or is it a?
I think it is a skill, and I think it is the mark of a very, very good writer. Because then you can get into somebody else's.
Headspace, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, and there's always that argument: can a woman write from a man's perspective and vice versa?
It's possible.
Do you think so? Yeah. Only because John Marston.
Well, John Marston.
With a teenage girl.
Well, yes.
Okay, sorry.
Lucky bastard. Yeah. Okay, yeah.
And I think, that, yeah, I mean, there's so many writers who that, you know that, I mean, not that I'm a particularly fan of Dickens, that is his world, but that, you know, there's a distance there.
Oh, for sure. Yeah.
Oh,
That's a good discussion for us.
Hilary Mantel.
Yeah. Yeah. Good example.
Amazing writing, but not won her world. Maybe it's because it's so well researched, but all from what she maintained all the way through that was the perspective of Cromwell. Nothing happened there in any of those books unless Cromwell. Except for I don't know what happened when he killed him. Anyway,
Go back
can't
to
remember. Didn't like that
source.
one. Love the first two. Sorry.
Any others? Anyone else like to chip in? If not, I'm going to say congratulations, Claire. Happy reading, everyone.
I've got a present for both of you, but anyway. Thank you everyone so much for your support, and I'll see you in October. No, do stay if you bought your own wine. I don't know how much wine's left, but
I will find out in a minute.